You've probably ruined something good in your life right when it started to work, not by accident. You felt it happening. You saw the opportunity, the relationship, the progress, and somehow you found a way to break it. A message you never sent. A chance you quietly walked away from. A small mistake that suddenly turned into a complete collapse. And afterward, you told yourself the same thing most people do. I don't know why I do this, but the truth is much darker than that. You do know. You just don't realize it yet. Because self-sabotage is not random. It's protection. Your mind is not trying to destroy your life. It's trying to keep you safe from something you learned to fear a long time ago. And once you see how it works, you'll start noticing it everywhere. Think about the last time something good began to happen in your life. Maybe you started getting closer to someone. Maybe your work finally began to pay off. Maybe you felt confident, hopeful, almost excited. For a moment, everything felt possible. And then something strange happened. A quiet tension appeared, not outside of you, inside. Your mind started whispering small doubts. This won't last. They'll eventually see who you really are. You're not ready for this. You're going to mess it up anyway. At first, those thoughts seem harmless, just a little insecurity. But then your behavior begins to shift. You procrastinate on something important. You stop replying to someone who actually cares about you. You delay decisions that could move your life forward. And slowly, without even realizing it, you begin creating the exact outcome you fear. The opportunity fades. The relationship weakens. The progress stops. And afterward, it feels like bad luck. But it wasn't. Your brain quietly guided you there. Because deep down, certainty feels safer than hope. Even when that certainty is failure. To understand why this happens, you need to understand something uncomfortable about the human brain. Your mind does not care about your happiness. It cares about your survival. And survival depends on predictability. The brain loves familiar patterns, even painful ones. If you grew up in an environment where success was rare, where love felt unstable, where mistakes were punished harshly, your mind learned a simple rule: good things don't last. So when life starts to improve, your brain becomes suspicious. Because improvement means uncertainty, and uncertainty means risk. It's like walking on ice that hasn't cracked yet. Part of you keeps waiting for the break, so your mind tries to restore the old pattern, the one it understands, the one it knows how to survive. You can see this play out in ordinary moments of life. Someone compliments your work. Instead of accepting it, you immediately downplay it. It wasn't that good. I just got lucky. A relationship starts becoming emotionally close. Suddenly you pull away. You become distant, cold, critical. Not because you want to lose the person, but because closeness feels dangerous. Or maybe you're finally moving forward in your career. You're doing well. People notice. And then, strangely, you start procrastinating, missing deadlines, avoiding opportunities that would push you further. From the outside, it looks irrational. But from the inside, your brain is trying to restore balance. Because success creates pressure, attention, expectations. And those things feel threatening if your mind believes you don't deserve them. But here's where it gets even darker. Self-sabotage isn't only about fear of failure. Sometimes it's about fear of success. Most people assume failure hurts the most. But success can be even more terrifying. Success changes your identity. It forces you to become someone different from the person you've always believed you were. If you've spent years thinking of yourself as the one who struggles, the one who falls behind, the one who almost makes it but never quite does, then succeeding means letting that identity die. And the brain hates identity death, even if the new identity is better, because the unknown version of you feels less safe than the flawed version you already understand. There's also another layer people rarely talk about. Success raises the stakes. When nothing good exists in your life, there's nothing to lose. Failure feels normal, predictable, but once something valuable appears, a relationship that matters, a dream that might actually work, a future that looks promising, suddenly the possibility of losing it becomes unbearable. So the mind performs a strange trick. It destroys the good thing early, before it grows too valuable, before the loss becomes too painful. In a strange way, self-sabotage is emotional insurance. If you ruin it yourself, you never have to experience someone else taking it away. And this is why the pattern repeats over and over, not because you're weak, not because you lack discipline, but because a hidden part of your mind believes stability is dangerous. So it pushes you back toward the familiar, even when the familiar is loneliness, or mediocrity, or wasted potential. The unsettling part is that this process is mostly invisible. You rarely wake up and decide to sabotage your life. Instead, it happens through small choices, tiny hesitations, a message left unsent, a risk quietly avoided, a moment where you choose comfort instead of progress. Each one feels insignificant, but together, they slowly guide your life back toward the same outcome you've always known. But here's the strange truth. The moment you start noticing the pattern, something changes, because self-sabotage survives on autopilot. It works best when you believe the outcome is accidental, when you start seeing the mechanism behind it, the quiet fears, the identity you're protecting, the certainty your brain keeps returning to. The pattern loses some of its power, not all of it, but enough to interrupt it, enough to pause in that critical moment, enough to ask yourself a disturbing question. What if the biggest obstacle in my life is the part of me trying to keep everything the same? And once that question appears, you'll begin noticing something unsettling. How many opportunities in your past quietly disappeared? Not because the world stopped you, but because something inside you did. And the next time life begins to improve, the next time something genuinely good appears, you might feel that same tension again. The doubt, the hesitation, the urge to step back. But this time, you'll recognize the voice, and once you recognize it, you can decide whether to obey it or finally walk past it.